too hot in here.
Fan?
It's too hot in here.
Turn a fan on.
Can't. The fan is noisy and doesn't fit in the room.
Oh.
And I got a Ghost in the Shell ad on Twitch.
I fucking love Ghost in the Shell.
Got a Bank of Melbourne ad. I think the interwebs know that I'm not pleased with Ghost in the Shell, so...
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look that bad.
What?
No, but I think it's stupid. Why wouldn't you have an Asian woman playing the role?
Oh man,
That's
if it was
true.
the lady who played Marco from Pacific Rim, holy crap.
Yes, right?
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, I think they did it just to get a big name, bigger
which is
name celebrity.
Silly.
Yeah,
That's
Makes me
stupid.
cross.
I get it, sure.
and
Whatevs. The sergeant is like a cyborg or whatever, but you can't just make an Asian character who's been an Asian character for God knows how long.
yeah, she's
Just make her a white woman.
Yeah, I did hear that. People are like, she's a cyborg. She can be anything, really.
So
I'm a
then
white
she could be
woman.
Asian, couldn't she?
Yeah.
True.
If she could be
Can
anything.
be a white woman too, but it's not as accurate.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but I've at least heard of it prior to this point in time, and I know that it's a big deal in Japan. So I don't know. I feel sad that this was something that could have come from that country that could have, helped break out a Japanese actress maybe into the industry a bit more or something.
Even if it didn't come directly from the country, they still would have like put a light on the Japanese actress, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'd love to see?
I could rant about it every day, honestly.
A live action Gurren Lagann.
Oh my god.
That's what I want to see.
That would be awesome, but that would be borderline Power Rangers.
Oh no, it's Power Rangers
have
doesn't
to
even
do
come
this.
close.
They'd have to do the actual mechas the way that they did it in Power Rangers.
Considering the
Dude in a suit.
well, with like current day, all that CGI that they have, considering the end of
Yeah, but
that
that's not the same.
anime is, robots throwing galaxies at each other.
The end of the anime was amazing, but I don't want to see Kamina die again. Spoilers.
Well, it's not really a spoiler considering how soon it happens.
Still spoilers, okay?
Yeah.
Like episode 8, isn't it?
Yeah, Cinder, basically, the anime starts off with 3 characters, and you're like, okay, this guy's the main character. Episode 8, he just dies, and it's like, oh.
So he should
Oh,
be.
shit. Well, I guess no, he's not the main character. Nope.
He's not really the main character, he's more like the main character's idol.
Yeah, well, it seems...
He's Simon's idol, really.
Yeah, but at the start, he's more of the main character than Simone is because he's so timid and shy and stuff. And then after that, he kind of comes out of his shell.
Hang on, did you watch it in English?
I believe so.
What is Simon's name in English? In Japanese,
Simon.
he's Simon.
Simone.
He's Simon.
No, Kamina pronounces it as Simone. And that's what
No.
everybody kind of calls him.
Good show, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to see
Okay.
a live action of it.
Mm.
Although I'm really
Okay.
interested in seeing the recent live action Death Note. Oh.
Yeah, I saw the other live action Death Notes. They were not great.
No, but this is different.
Yeah. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Talking about
Hi.
movies.
Sorry, Cinder.
Why sorry?
Because Paz and I just started ranting about anime and stuff.
That's okay. I'm just sitting here smiling and nodding. Like, I'm pretending I know what you're talking about. You sound very
seen
happy about
Westworld?
these things, and yes.
Yes, we can talk about Westworld. Yeah, we can talk
And I
about
can
Westworld.
sit here smiling
Yes.
and nodding.
No, don't spoiler Westworld.
Oh man, I only finished it the other day, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, yeah. We've
Oh,
started
no.
watching Legion. Have you guys started watching that?
Oh my god, that
No.
first episode was fucking ridiculous.
No.
Okay, so as ridiculous as that first one is, all of them are. Like we're through three of them now, and we're just like I need to stop watching it before bed for starters. And
Oh, yeah.
it's incredible, but also like, well, now my brain's mashed potato, so thanks for that.
Yeah,
Hang
that's
on,
the
does
thing,
it explain who he is in the
Not
first
yet.
few episodes?
Not yet.
Ah, okay.
So don't talk
because
about
we
that.
know,
Yeah,
we
no,
know
that's
who
why
he
I'm
is,
asking.
Smoke-wise, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but most people don't.
That's
so.
why I
actually,
asked.
I doubt they'll even bring up who his father is, considering
Oh, I hope they do though.
considering that those characters have kind of been phased out completely because of copyright issues.
Man. I'd really like
Because
to see
his
it
father's
happen,
meant
though.
his who was his father again?
Don't
Yes.
say it. Don't say it.
Okay,
There's like
Do you want me
a
to
whole
type
bunch.
it to you?
Like, yeah,
okay, just type it.
that will just ruin it for many people.
There you go.
Oh, okay, I'm getting confused then. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But...
I was confused. I thought his father was meant to be what's he, Mr. Fantastic
No.
from Fantastic Four, because he
No.
becomes like an all-powerful sort of
No.
meta-human.
If anything,
Yeah.
it'd be really... Even though it's not even close, it'd be really interesting if his dad was Mr. Manhattan.
Oh god.
That would be real messed up. Even though he's like
Yeah.
junkless, like a Ken doll. Kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of? Actually, you do...
Although
Now
that
I'm
dance
just
scene
gonna
in the
think
first
about-
episode.
Think about the sex between a blue man and yeah. Did he have junk?
Can they hear us?
I don't know.
I
Mike's
don't
in
know.
here.
Did I kill people? People, can you hear me?
Okay,
And,
no, I
Spaz
can.
and-
No, I just turned the stream on and I can hear. I don't know, because Spanky said mute, and I'm like, did I mute something accidentally?
Now I'm just...
But that was 30 seconds ago, so he must have been referring to something we said that I don't remember.
where I said, don't spoil it anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, the first little reveal was really cool. Like the pullback from where he was.
Also,
And
quick thing.
yeah.
Mr. Manhattan does have junk. Welcome for that knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Fair enough.
No, because I'm like, Mr. Manhattan could be cool as the dad. Wait, what? You need certain bits for that to happen.
Well, considering his powers, I don't think so.
Well, he wears underpants.
Considering he can make
So
the entire structure that he made on,
yeah, I know.
was it Mars that he went to?
But
Was it
why would
the
you
moon?
use that power to give yourself a wang?
Because you would.
Oh, I would. Yeah, that's me though.
Did you like the Bollywood style dance number, Cinder?
That was
Sorry,
special.
Cinder. I'm just gonna keep apologizing to you until I realize that I'm just like ranting about the most random things.
Well, I don't know why you're apologizing.
I just ranted about a blue dude's junk.
Well, yes. But,
That's the name of the movie podcast you're gonna do. Blue Dude's Junk.
Blue dude's junk?
Yeah. Actually,
The
speaking of, I
song,
need to subscribe to Junkertown FM.
theme song needs to be like cut to
A Blue Man
I'm
Group
Blue.
song.
No, I'm Blue. Blue by
Junkertown.
shit, I forget what their name is.
Eiffel 65.
There we go. Ding.
Yeah, try and get that out of my head. Yeah, poor Okay, see, Moriarty's just walked in. The poor little muffin.
I'm sorry, Moriarty. Now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. Shall we get started?
Okay.
I want to talk about blue people junk more.
Well, when they make a blue people junk mount in game, then we can talk about that more.
A blue version of the Love Rocket.
There you go.
Could be taken either way, but
I know, right? I did it just for you.
I'm just gonna keep spiraling down there.
Well, I suppose you can already have a giant blue dragon between your legs.
No, it's like you'd mount it.
Speaking of, I read a very interesting article last night, which was about how raunchy the 90s Batman cartoon was. And it had like all these stills and things of, totally inappropriate stuff.
I'm curious how it got past Australian censors.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't think anyone cared back then.
Well, considering, have you heard the song that the birds of prey sing?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you're thinking of... I believe, Cinder, are you referencing the live-action Batman with Adam West?
Nope, cartoon.
No, okay. Because I've heard stories about that production. Pretty funny.
The one that I'm talking is from The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, I know of that.
Yeah.
All right.
The Plastic Man can expand, becomes putty in our hands. Okay. A little bit of, yeah.
A little bit much. All right.
Yeah.
Shall we go?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Batman 66. What I was thinking of. All right. Into the teapot.
I'm just gonna start drawing blue people junk now.
On the inside of the teapot.
No! Why would I draw? No! Gross. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Alright, I'll give you a countdown.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 54 of Reins of Azeroth. I'm your host, Cinder, and I am joined by my co-host, Spaz Weston. How are you, Spaz?
Tomorrow. Horizon Zero Dawn.
I don't know what that means.
It's open world action adventure RPG that I have been craving a long time.
Okay.
Also,
well, that's cool. Yay.
Also, Puckman.
Okay.
That fight annoys me to hell.
Okay. Well,
I can't get past it.
That's what we're talking about this evening. We're going to talk about the Legion Brawlers Guild because there's a whole bunch of new fights and a whole bunch of new things to purchase and a whole bunch of new achievements to get. So we're going to have a talk about all of those fights and all the new stuff to help people out and help people like yourself get through Puckman or whatever that one is with the blue goop on the ground that drives me bonkers.
Yes.
How's your week been? What have you gotten up to?
Got myself the Primal Flame Saber.
Woohoo!
And that's about it, really. Been playing a bit of everything. I played the Wildlands beta on PS4. Played it for about half an hour after I downloaded it. Loaded it back up yesterday. Started playing it, and then it's like, the beta ends in 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, damn. that sucks. So I
Bummer.
didn't really get much time to play it, but it was pretty good. And trying to think what else I've done during the week. Just nap and then actually go to bed and sleep most evenings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright then.
What about yourself?
It's been a really stupidly busy week. So last week was my last week at work. I'm now officially unemployed. Yay! So it was really, really busy handing over everything at work. So I was doing a lot longer hours, didn't really get too much time to play. I did manage to book in some time with Thor on Saturday, and I finished off. I only had 5 matches finished left in Heroes to get. So I got my Flame Saber, although I stayed and did all 15 with him so that he could get his. So thank you to Lita and Natani and Mel and Thor for helping me get my mount. I'm just counting in my head, and yes, yes, I think that's everyone. Oh God, see now I'm gonna have forgotten someone, and I'm gonna get in trouble.
Just like you forgot
Yeah,
me.
I know. I always forget people. But thank you for my mount. I got my Thaumaturgist's Orb for being a priest. That toy. I keep forgetting that there's all these class toys to get, and
Yeah.
I've been playing around on my priest. Thanks to the love dungeon, I was able to level up my priest, who has been Shadow, to 102, because I really hate Shadow. It was terribly dull, and it just, I don't know, I didn't really like it at all, and so I'm like, I've got to get to 102 so that I can go disc, because I like the disc weapon. It's really pretty, and at least
the holy weapon is really cool.
It's
beautiful. And it summons the
Is that the little elemental that comes around?
Yeah, it summons a little Naru.
Nice.
that does additional stuff for you. It's pretty
That's cool. So I went with disc because I like that net and I like hitting things and getting healed up at the same time. So that was really nice. So I got that and got the priest toy. And then the rest of it has been doing Brawlers Guild in preparation for this evening. And I'll talk about all of that in a little bit, but got all of the achievements bar 2 or 3, and have my basilisk mount. It's actually really cool to ride around on. It's got a really unique walking animation and stuff, so that's really cool. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll go on with the news. Do you want to talk about the Q&A a bit?
Yeah, so there was a Q&A with Ian Hazakostas, and a lot of talk about I guess artifact power, artifact weapons, 7.2, like a whole bunch of stuff. I started making notes when I was watching it, writing down the question and the answers and everything, and then I filled like 3 pages of notes, and I'm like, oh geez, I'm only like 20 minutes in, not even, and I'm like,
that's what the Wowhead guides are for.
Yeah, although it was good to watch and take note of everything that they were talking about. The first main point someone asked was if they have any plans to make Balance of Power skins count wide in the future, and if not, will there be some kind of further alt catch-up mechanics? Basically, they said that they're just going to increase the drop rates on the items as raid tiers sort of fall backwards. So now that we have Nighthold, Emerald Nightmare, its drop rate, I believe, has been multiplied by 4 or 5.
Yeah, I can't remember what specifically it is, but it's gone up already.
Yeah,
so.
And he's like, we take it to a multiple of 5 just to make it easier, so you don't have to trudge through it as much. Which, I mean, if you're still doing it on LFR, may be a pain, but not as much of a pain.
Yeah, like some people were saying that they managed to get through it in 1 week. Some people said it took 2, which is a lot faster than the 4 to 5 it took previously. So it's definitely doable. Don't let it put you off.
Yeah. They said that weapon unlocks are meant to be per toon and as they are simply cosmetic, they will not really be budging on that. So that's something. Now, a
Yes,
listener
sorry,
of
Spank.
ours. Oh yes.
Sorry, Spanky was just saying that that doesn't apply on LFR because they don't drop in LFR.
Oh, that's right. The
so
quest doesn't.
it's normals and stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, the rate that you can get them is quite quick. Now that things have passed on a little bit, except for the Nighthold stuff because that's current. So everything that you've just been saying, but just not in LFR.
Yes.
Because yeah, as
and
Spanky was saying, it's for organized raiding.
And I assume once Tomb of Sargeras drops, then the Nighthold section, if there is, collect a bunch of stuff from the Nighthold in the quest line, they will increase that drop rate.
Yeah, look, it was really quick anyway, so...
Yeah, that's what a lot of people said. They were just like, well, there wasn't that much to collect, but hey, if you're going to make it faster, then that's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be old news anyway. One of our listeners, Servation, actually got his question answered. He said 30 Il'gynoth kills across all difficulties and still no hidden shadow appearance. When will bad luck protection be added for these? They said that bad luck protection against hidden appearances have been added in 7.1.5, but it's not retroactive, so your chances started increasing from the beginning of 7.1.5.
I'm so glad about this because I'm still trying to get my Resto Shaman one, and I have given up because I'm just like, stuff it, because I don't like Ivajara, which is where mine drops. But so I just kind of went, I really don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped doing it probably around when 7.1.5 came out. So I need to get back in there and do it. It's good to know that the bad luck protection is in there. So eventually I'll get there. So just knowing that that's there makes it better. I know that's weird, but it just helps psychologically.
Ian did say he did say that they did try to work out a way to make it retroactive, but they couldn't make it work. So it's just one of those things that if a formula starts now, it starts now. So it's not really something that they can backtrack easily or without a lot of digging. Now with 7.2, you will be given 2 more tiers of research in your class hall, and the second make relics that you receive have a second trait to them that is random. And this extra trait will always be a throughput trait, so it's not just going to be increases spell by X percentage. So it's always going to be one of the interesting ones. They did say that you can't get the same trait twice on one relic, because that would just be a bit too much, even if you're trying to stack certain traits. When it comes to legendaries, they talked a lot about legendaries. The first being that legendaries are meant to feel special for the spec that you get them in, which is why they don't have a changing effect when you change spec like tier pieces do. And this is obviously because each legendary item is legendary for a reason. It has an identity, it has a name, it has lore behind it, so they give it one proc and that's it. Legendaries are personal, so they wanted them to be useful to your spec. They have, I believe, I'm not sure if it's now or if it's 7.2, but they'll be introducing bad luck protection, or the bad luck mechanic, into each spec. So if you've got
7.2.
7.2? Okay, so if you've gotten 2 legendaries as a Beast Mastery Hunter, and then you swap over into Marksman, the game will go, oh, he's been playing for this long, he has no legendaries. Okay, let's start adjusting the bad luck protection so that you can get one sooner. So that will be helpful to be able to get sort of one per spec if you're the kind of person that, plays a tank but also is a healer sometimes, or is a DPS who swings heals. So
bear in mind the ones like Pridas and all that, they actually count for all specs. So if you've been really unlucky, and I use the term loosely, unlucky in that you get like a generic legendary, then that will apply across all of your specs. So there's some downsides, but I don't know. I'm not going to go on a legendary rant because I don't like people getting legendaries and being cross about it. It's like, well, at the very least, you have a 940 piece of gear, and it may not be exactly the piece of gear that you're after, but it's still a 940 piece of gear. It's Definitely. The highest that you can get. It's going to have something useful on it somewhere for you. So, and if it doesn't, then stick. You know what? It doesn't. But yeah, there's going to be some stats on there that may help you. So.
Now, someone mentioned something about shaman gloves or wrists or something being completely useless.
Okay.
The legendary. Do you know anything about that?
No, I haven't heard about
that. Someone was mentioning one of the shaman wrist hands, something legendaries, is, completely useless, in air quotes, because, the effect is counterintuitive to the playstyle that's, the thing at the moment. And that question then turned into them saying that they are looking at the quote-unquote bad legendaries or the underperforming ones. So, they want legendaries to be special. They want you to feel good when you get them. I mean, I honestly hope that they take a look at the boots for the hunter I have. Because
honestly, I think that's whinging, because I'm looking at the gloves, the shaman gloves, which actually is what I'm wanting to get. That's one of the ones that I'm working towards getting, because it increases the strength of my healing stream totem, which my 4-set bonus actually means I can have more of them out. So that's a brilliant one. That works really nicely with my tier set bonus, which is great. And the braces, chain heal reduces the mana cost of your next healing surge. Well, that's not difficult to put into your rotation. So
yeah. Well, I'm not sure, but the person who asked the question was like, they may have meant that compared to the other legendaries, this one is just lackluster, like boring, in the same way that the boots just add an extra cooldown reduction to a spell that is almost 6 seconds cooldown.
Maybe,
anyway.
but the stats on it are exactly what you would want as a resto shaman. So it's kind of like, well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get into a legendary rant. I'm not.
That's fine.
Because I don't want to rant.
Now, they have said crafted legendaries coming in 7.2 do not affect your chances of getting a quote-unquote proper legendary. So you can make the legendary crafted stuff, and you'll still have the same chance of getting one that drops. So people can, find that as a good thing for alts, I guess. They talked a bit about artifact power. They didn't want artifact power to be something that you had to seek out and look for. They wanted to just be a passive progression. They will be changing how they change the range of artifacts. And the range of the amount you need for every level. So rather than it being say 1 million, 1.1 million, 1.2 million, it's going to be exponential now, because they wanted to make it a little bit more difficult to be able to do that. But obviously, with the increase of our artifact knowledge coming, that will also kind of make it not as bad. They are going to be rewarding a lot of AP for people who clear 15 plus. And Ian did say that if you can clear a Mythic 20, at the end of the week, you should get like 2 million artifact power out of your weekly chest. So those who are pushing Mythic dungeons will be able to get tons of artifact power, no problems. So that will be cool. They also address the fact that some people are focusing on one artifact and some are focusing on two. Because artifact power isn't class-wide, it's about each individual artifact and empowering that artifact. They wanted the system to be able to be sort of fair, to the point where if I'm focusing on just empowering one of my artifacts, roughly if I get to level 44, and Cinder, you're using two different artifacts, both of your artifacts should be roughly level 42. So there's not... So that comes down to what? 1% difference? Whereas in the long run, if you're empowering multiple artifacts, that makes you more versatile in raid and to your group. So 1% extra damage or 1% extra healing versus the ability to swap spec, which do you think is more useful when it comes down to it? So it's not a huge gap, which they're looking into. And that's really about it. Was there anything specific that popped up that you wanted to mention?
No, not really. Not for this show. I'm going to have a big rant about the rating stuff on Battle Tagged, because that's what we rant about. But yeah, no, it was a really good Q&A, and I do encourage people to have a listen, especially if you are concerned about the artifact grind, and I use the term very loosely, and the legendary situation. I think Ian really... I think he's politely frustrated at some attitudes, and
yes, I did like the comment that he made about high-end rating in regards to the attitude of players.
Yeah, but I like what Law said. Be kind to Todd, so just be nice to him.
Yeah. So that was it. It is definitely worth watching, because all the Q&As are worth watching, because there might be some little thing that we missed that you'll be able to find. There's
heaps that we haven't covered.
Obviously,
it's too much. It went for about an hour and a half.
It was an hour.
An hour, okay.
I think it was like an hour and like 5 minutes or something. But there was a couple minutes either side that was just kind of dead air. But yeah, it was about an hour total. Yeah, it was good. It was nice. And the next one that's coming up is focused on PvP. So anyone out there who's interested in the state of PvP and what's coming next, definitely keep an ear out for that one.
Before I forget.
Yes.
Did you do the hatching of the hippogriffs last week? The micro
I missed it.
Oh no!
Because on my calendar it said it was a 2-day event.
Well, no, if you hovered over the times, it started at 7 p.m. on the Thursday and finished at 7 p.m. on the Friday. So it may look like 2 days, but if you look at the times, it's actually only 24 hours.
Yeah, because I'm on a US server, I got the days mixed up, and I was like, oh, it was yesterday, but there was
oh, no.
But then I was like, oh, it was twice. Like, it was on the calendar twice, so it must also be today. And so I flew over there and then opened my calendar. I was like, oh, it's not.
Poop.
Poop. I was annoyed though.
It was really cute. Okay. So all of our listeners, please, can you please send some pictures of your little hippogriff hatchlings on your shoulders if you did manage to do it? I spent way too long. Okay, so I flew in and I could see the eggs, and I looked at the things, and it said that, you just kind of hang around the eggs and then one will hatch. And so I sat on the edge of a nest because I didn't want to get too close, because in my head I'm like, if I get too close, I'm a big fat panda. I'm going to squish the egg and I'm going to kill the little hippogriff inside, and that would just be sad. So I was sitting on the edge, and I was waiting there for like 5-10 minutes, just going, why isn't it hatching? Oh my god, I've done something wrong. And I tweeted it, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I need to get a bit closer. And of course I took like 1-2 steps forward, and then it started doing its thing. So but yeah, he hatched out, and then he was sitting on my shoulder, and he was absolutely adorable. And what I really liked, which I didn't think about until after he'd hatched, I have the Shaman challenge mode set on, and that's got the huge lava totem shoulders that have fire coming out of them. And I'm like, oh my goodness, he's gonna get set on fire. But it takes your shoulders off and has the little hippogriff on your
headpiece
shoulder
as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah,
a bit too slow.
Thist got a bit angry on the last episode of Lagging Balls because she's like, ruined my transmog because you're sitting on my shoulder and making my helmet and shoulders disappear. Did you fight? Did you fight the boss to get the extended?
No. So when I flew in there, chat was full of people saying, "Stupid Blizzard should have made it multi-factional tapping and stuff and things like that." And I was just like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And there was like a Death Knight on the Horde side who was just running around griefing people and tagging the boss. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother looking for this guy. I've got I saw him hatch, and it was absolutely adorable, and the whole thing was just really sweet. Yeah. So,
I saw all the pictures on Twitter.
It was. I really loved it as a holiday. I loved it as a holiday. It was really good.
Yeah, I saw Thist, Mugaiva, and however many other people just posting all their pictures kind of the day after, and it was cute. It looked really good. Yeah. Actually, speaking of other news in the Blizzard universe, did you hear about the new Hearthstone expansion?
Yeah, I heard about the leak. I'm sad that the leak was real, but yes.
Yeah, the Journey to Un'Goro, I think it's called. It's something about Un'Goro Crater, which is. It looks really cool, and
lots of dinosaurs.
Yes, and what they've done is they've taken the Un'Goro Crater from WoW, and they've basically let the world in Un'Goro evolve over a time period. Like, there are now things that you would remember from Un'Goro, but they're different. Like, there are certain dinosaurs that look different, and there's a new mechanic that is evolve. So if a dinosaur card has evolve on it, you'll get to choose one of these evolutions. And, like, it could be fiery claws, or it's massive, or it's, adapted to ice and stuff like that. And there's, like, elemental is now a new tribe, I believe is the correct term. So you can make, like, a proper elemental deck, and then they'll have cards that actually affect elementals specifically. So, yeah, it looks really cool, and all the artwork from it's great. And it's just, like...
That's awesome.
The more of this stuff that they do, the more I want it to then just throw itself back into WoW. Like, upgrade, update Gadget Zan, update Un'Goro, let all that stuff come into WoW. Like,
they have talked about saying that they're not going to do that, but I agree. Like, there's some cool things that are happening that it's like, hey, that'd be fun. But yeah, no, they specifically said it at BlizzCon, I think it was, because someone said the same thing as you. They're like, this is so cool. Can we have this in the game?
Yeah, the mean streets of Gadget Zan was the catalyst for that. And every single time they've taken something from WoW and put their spin on it, it's just perfect. Like, none of the humor they've done has fallen flat, I've found. Like, the humor from the Grand Tournament, the humor that they put through the mean streets of Gadget Zan, what I've seen so far of Un'Goro, it's just great. And I wish that the WoW team... Because that's what they're doing with micro holidays, kind of, fleshing out the world. I wish they would either allow themselves, or I don't really know how to phrase this, allow themselves to make the world breathe. Allow themselves to make the world change slightly and slowly. But obviously it's an MMO, so you kind of have to keep it the way it is for quests and stuff, but it would be nice if there were small changes over time. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't even think of an example, but it would be nice.
Okay.
On to the Brawlers Guild then.
Yay, Brawlers Guild!
Because this is something that's definitely changed.
Brawlers Guild! I was not up until 2 o'clock in the morning doing this. No. I was not.
Fair enough.
I might have been. I think I got to bed at about 2:30. Yeah. So I worked on this yesterday. So and look for like not to put anybody off and not to sit here and brag either, but I did get through this a lot faster because I do have a high eye level and some pretty decent gear, so it was easier for me than people who were at who have lower eye levels who aren't doing mythics and stuff. So be prepared for fight.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of this information is from Wowhead, which is the best place to go. The link is simply just brawlers-guild-guide. So it's a really simple URL. So it's we refer to Wowhead for a lot of everything, and they're the place to go when you don't know something, pretty much.
Yeah, so like for this one, they've got video guides for all of the 7 ranks of fights that you need to get through. So if you're somebody who learns by watching other people, that's a good way to go about it. And we're not going to go through each of the bosses saying, "Oh, this is exactly how you do this thing." We're just going to go through and give you tips for each one because some of them are
the key points.
Straightforward, just the key points. Yeah. But before we do, we're going to have a talk about what's new in the Legion Brawlers Guild. So aside from the new bosses that we've got, and we will go through all of those, there's a few new bits and pieces that you can take part in. So there's new achievements. The first one is called I Am Thrall's Complete Lack of Surprise, which is to defeat 10 bosses using random brawl mode in the Brawlers Guild, which we'll talk about in a second. Rumble Club is to do the raid rumbles, which we'll talk about in a second. I probably should have put these at the end, but anyway, Rumble Club is to do all of the different rumbles. You Are Not the Contents of Your Wallet is to obtain 20,000 Brawlers Gold, which is a new currency, which is cool.
Now, is that achievement tracked, or is that accumulate? Like, have it on you? I assume it's tracked.
I'm assuming it's tracked as well.
Like the eyes.
Yep. Because there's comments on Wowhead giving you suggestions on how you can get that up a lot faster and how you can make the Brawlers Guild in the game, which is actually by the next achievement, which is called Educated Guesser, which is to obtain 10 stacks of vested interest, which we'll talk about again in a second. Moriarty's freaking out going 20,000, oh my god. I hit so just doing very casually, getting through ranks 1 to 7 and through all of the raid brawl thingies, and I would say, actually, I might log on and have a quick look, and I'll let you know how much I made. But it will be pretty close to about 7,000 just by doing that.
There is actually, if someone wins a brawl, everyone gets 1 Brawler's Gold.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you get a small amount for every time someone that wins. If you're
Do you need to be in the queue?
No, you just have to be in the area.
That's cool. Just AFK in there for days on end.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Obviously, Educated Guesser is there's a gentleman standing in the Alliance one on the left-hand side of the arena, wearing a top hat, I believe. And as soon as the fight starts, you can click on him, and you can bet on either the player or the monster to win. And I believe if you get it wrong, you lose your stacks, and it has sort of an internal 24-hour cooldown before you can do it again. Obviously, if you get it correct, you can continue doing that. There will be a time where he'll call out no more bets. So if you're trying to get this achievement, sort of get in there quickly to make a bet. I'm sure there's an easy way to cheese this. Have 10 to 12 people all line up at the same time and all bet on the monster and just drop dead quick, kind of, I guess, if that does work. I'm not actually sure. Check out the comments, or just group up with a bunch of people and just kick some butt and win 10 in a row. But we'll see.
And I don't believe that you can bet on yourself. So, I mean, this falls in the category of the new buff. So, Brawlers Guild is the new currency that you can get, and there's a bunch of things that you can buy, and the funner things are the buffs and things that you can get. So
Yes.
one of them is that what Spaz is talking about is the High Rollers contract. And yeah, you can't guess on yourself, and you've got 30 minutes to get it done. But you don't have to bet on every fight either. Like, you can skip some.
You can only bet on the fight between the start, like when the player spawns in the arena, and about 30 seconds in. So obviously, if you spawn into the arena, you can't bet on yourself because you're standing in the arena about to fight.
Yep, there you go.
So, yeah.
I haven't done this. I think this is an achievement that I just won't get. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Unless I can get like a group of like 20 people to all just go in there and throw themselves against the big venom snake and just drop dead. Like, yeah. I think that's the easiest one to fail. Just let him walk over his own poison and he'll grow to
there's
9
plenty.
million
You ain't
times
seen
damage.
nothing yet. There's some that will insta-kill you the second the fight starts. It's hilarious.
So, obviously, Brawler's Gold, like you were saying, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can buy. And now you made reference to the bag of chipped dice. Now what this does is you hand the bag of chipped dice in to enable a random brawl mode. It chooses just a random boss, and that's who you end up fighting. Obviously, a reference to the I am Thrall's complete lack of surprise, which is to beat 10 of these. So obviously you're better off finishing all the brawls and knowing all the fights before you start throwing yourself at random ones. Because you may end up...
Because it's supposed to do a level-specific random one for you, and if you're at max level, you're open to getting absolutely any of them. Whereas if you're in the lower levels, then you have fewer, I think, that it could potentially choose from.
Oh, that's fair enough.
So it's just something to bear in mind. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't do any.
Yeah, the High Rollers contract. Now, obviously, this is something I didn't realize till just then. The High Rollers contract actually summons the NPC, who stands there for half an hour, which will then let you guess. Normally, I believe he's still standing there, but you're unable to bet, so you need to actually get your hands on the High Rollers contract and use it to actually allow the betting to begin. I'm not sure if the stacks... I believe the stacks fall off if you leave the area of vested interest. I'm not sure if they fall off if you log out / get DC'd. That'll just be something that you'll have to figure out as you go. There's the Blood-Soaked Angel figurine, which is something that this is something that you have to get if you're going to be in there for a while. You hand this in to enable a graveyard in the arena, so you don't have to then go all the way out to the Stormwind graveyard and then fly back in when you fail. It just automatically puts you back in the Brawlers Guild, which is great. We have the Brawlers Potion Dispenser. You hand this in to make all the Brawlers potions free for 30 minutes, so this is kind of one for you and everyone else, like for your friends. It's 500 Brawlers Gold, so it's a little pricey, but for 30 minutes, everyone gets free stuff. So if you've got a ton of Brawlers Gold and you've got some friends that are just like, oh yeah, we'll give this a try, just throw that down, let them take all the potions that they need.
It's a maximum of 10 of each one.
Yes. Have you used the VIP room?
No.
Okay. So this will give you 10 minutes of access to the VIP room. Oh, for anybody, not just for one person. Inside has a great view of the arena, fancy food, and money brow that makes you spew lootable piles of gold for a minute. I don't even know why.
I don't know either. It costs 900 gold, so it makes me think of, I think there was a Pirates Day toy or something that you could buy a big sack of gold or something and throw gold at your friends or whatever and they could pick it up. But it was never 900 gold's worth of gold, if that makes sense. So yeah. It's really for people who have way too much gold and think that throwing up money would be hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then obviously you've got the last one, the free drinks voucher. hand this in to buy 2 minutes of free drinks for everyone. Now, there are a few other things. Did you want to go over those, Cinder?
Yep, so the other things that you can buy that are new are the Brawler's Ancient Healing Potion and the Brawler's Potion of Prolonged Power. They can only be used in the Brawler arena, as always, but they've been upgraded to be for Legion levels. So the Ancient Healing Potion. Yeah, Ancient Healing Potion will heal you for just over 500,000. And Brawler's Potion of Prolonged Power is, which by the way, you should be pre-potting with and then during the fight. So for fights that are lasting the duration, you'll be able to do too. The Prolonged Power one increases your stats by 3,000 compared to your normal Prolonged Power potion, which is 2,500. So it's a bit stronger as well, which is really nice. So they're available to buy from the vendor straight from level 1. I'm curious if when you reach a particular level, if they become free, because I was the only one there at 2:30 in the morning this morning, and I certainly didn't pay for them to be free, and I got a whole bunch for free, and this morning as well they were free as well, and I was the only one there for quite a while as well. So I don't know if like maybe when you reach maybe it was doing rank 7 thing. I have no idea, but I got a lot of them for free for a really long time, which was nice.
Yeah, maybe there is a cap on it, they become discounted when you hit sort of the upper levels.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. There is a battle pet called Tyler Grundon. Obvious reference. It'll cost you 400 gold. Requires rank 3. Now, the tooltip from the vendor does not say that it requires rank 3, and you might pull a Cinder and go into the Brawler's Arena and go, what have I got to buy from this person? It's like, oh my god, there's a pet, I can get the pet straight away. And then you click it, it's like, no. So, yeah, you can't get that until rank 3. There is Class Hall Champion Meatball. Now, this is a little bit tricky. Well, not tricky, but basically get to rank 3 to unlock a Class Hall quest in your order hall, which will be called Rude Letter. And so you can send your followers off on this mission and you can complete it, and it will start this series. And basically you're sending your followers to the Brawler's Arena to get them to compete, and you'll get I think there's 5 all up, with the last one being a battle against Meatball, and when that one is defeated, then you get Meatball as a bodyguard. The thing is that you need to get as close to 200% success rate on it, because the first 100% will just give you Brawler's gold, and the second 100%, so the bonus roll, is what actually gets you the quest to do the next one in the series. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. So it's a bit of a challenge. So if you've only just dinged 100 and you don't have really strong followers just yet, you might find this to be a bit of a challenge. But give it a go. I don't believe that there's any issue with you trying and failing as many times as you
I'm
need
sure
to.
It has an internal cooldown and it'll just pop back up for you.
Yes. And it's going to cost you order hall resources and things like that. So do bear that in mind. But
those are very difficult to come by.
They can be. Get a follower. Get a follower with the bonuses on it. You can get 50 every time you complete a world quest. It's really good. But Meatball is really amazing to have on missions. He's got a lot of really good procs on him, and he can also be used as a bodyguard. So Meatball can follow you around the world and protect you and keep you safe. And apparently he drops the purple orbs, which are part of his fight. He drops them on out in the world, and you can step through them and get yourself a 10% bonus damage. 10% damage bonus, which I thought was really cool.
He was a garrison follower, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
But I don't think you could make him a bodyguard in your garrison.
I'm not 100% sure.
I don't believe so, because I remember because all the bodyguards in the garrison had a ranking or
yes,
friendship.
That's right. Yes, you're right. And I think that because he was a Brawlers Guild one, I don't think he was a bodyguard then. No.
Yeah. So it's something new, definitely. It's the same thing, but now it's new again.
Yeah. Other things you can buy: the teleport ring, Puglet's powerful punching ring, costs you 1,600 gold, like actual gold, not Brawler's gold. It requires rank 4, and it will just teleport you to the Brawler's Arena. So that's really great if you really can't be bothered hearthing to Stormwind or Orgrimmar, but really with the portals in Dalaran.
Free port to Stormwind.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's true. It is a free port to Stormwind or Orgrimmar. That's true. And then the last one that is new is the Brawler's Burly Basilisk for 3,200 gold. Requires rank 8. So basically, you've got to get through all of the ranks. There are also the shirts from previous seasons. You can purchase those for 80 gold each. And the other bits and pieces, so like there were the heirloom fist weapons that you could get, and the Clockham pet, and the gem cutter module for your garrison. You can get things like that in from that vendor as well. So there's a fair few new things. Most important that people will care about is the mount and the pet, I think. So
yeah.
Do you want to go through the Rumble cards?
Yes. Did you encounter any of the Rumble cards?
Yeah, I did them all. I got the achievement.
Okay. You can do them by yourself?
I have no idea. I was in so for just to get people on board. Because
that's what I'm thinking. Like, if you were by yourself and you did them, like, are they doable, or does it require a minimum of 2 people?
I wouldn't do it on my own. Like, some of them were really tight DPS checks, so I'm not 100% sure, but they're the.
Call out to the guild when you get one.
We had about 4 people when I was doing them.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is, if you call out to your guild mates, I've got a Rumble card, I need some help with this. Come give me a hand. If there's no one there.
Yeah, you could do.
So, you have the Battle of the Brew, Grief Warden, Mazharine, Mindbreaker Garage, Penguin Stampede, Senya, and Stranglethorn Streak. I'm guessing Penguin Stampede is a whole bunch of bees?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
It was a lot easier than Dippy on his own. Because I could chain lightning them because there were enough of them, and every time I chain lightning them, it was enough to proc an earthquake, which meant they were constantly being hit. So they constantly stayed away, which was really good. But these are they're the mini raid bosses, so they are designed to be done with a group. And basically, if you are in the queue for a fight on your own, it will bring in it will push in. From what I could tell, it would push in. Someone would purchase the Rumble card, activate it, and everybody would go in the next fight and defeat this mini raid boss. And when I was there, somebody obviously had been stashing up a lot of Brawler's gold, or I think there were about 2 or 3 from the same guild, so they could have just been alternating between them about who would buy what, and they just went through the whole lot in one go, and so we just did them all back to back. I discovered that you do not have to be alive to get the kill or the achievement, because I died in Stranglethorn Streak because I didn't know anything about it. Just as a pro tip, don't let Stranglethorn Streak is all of your clothes get taken off and all of your experience is gone. Yeah. And all of the mobs are just really low level, but you have to hit them before, you can pretty much one-shot them, but there's a lot of them around and you can't get hit by them. If you get hit by them, you just get one shot and you die.
You don't have any abilities?
Yeah, you do. You've got abilities, but it was just you couldn't. It's not like they would munch on you and your health would go down. It's like it would brush up against you and you just died. And I didn't know that, and I ran right towards one and killed myself because I was stupid. But thankfully, we still had 2 people up by the end of it. That one is just a survive one.
Yeah.
You don't have to defeat a certain number. You just have to have people alive at the end of it. And so a few of us died. But
I
even
wonder
though I was
if feign death
dead,
would work.
I wouldn't do it if you're the last one up. You'd probably.
Oh no! But I'm just saying, if I feign death and just have my pets run around and just thunderstorm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, 100%
all of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not sure, but that was a fun one. But for the most part, I didn't find them too difficult. There were 2 of them that had a chasing thing down, so you'd get focused and you'd have to run away. So obviously, don't get in the way.
Yeah.
Penguin Stampede straightforward. The Battle of the Brew with 3 Pandaren. That was pretty straightforward. So yeah, they're not difficult. They just have high health. So do it
Fair
with
enough.
a group of people. But yeah, it was really good. I hated being dead for the last one, but I got the achievement. I was really happy about that. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Now, there are 4 special challenges. And we're not sure where they all come from, specifically. One of them is a seagull from the Eye of Ishara. One is Ash Ketchum, obviously Pokemon reference. You have one that's called Beatbox, and one that's Strange Thing. Now, did you do any of these?
No, I didn't. So, like I said, the guide doesn't tell us how to get these yet. I did see people trying to do beatbox, so there are ways to get the other cards. But on the vendor, there's only Strange Thing, which I didn't do, but because I haven't looked into it yet. Because
what was the beatbox one? What did it look like?
Oh, it looked like hell. There's a Blingtron in the middle, and he's got this blue electrified goop around him, and he's got backup dancers, and he's dropping a beat and dancing and stuff. And I think it's basically like a Dance Dance Revolution in reverse, where you just have to not stand on the bad stuff. But I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't at that point in time. It was crazy time of the night, and didn't really know what was happening. So.
Just like the first time you fight Guam. Like, there's colors everywhere. What do I do?
Yeah. It's a rainbow. I ain't no Skittle.
Yeah. Now, there are some new shirts from what we've seen. The Gore-stained tunic, which comes from defeating Gordome. The Observer's shirt, which comes from defeating Hexus again. The Dub vest for beating Beatbox.
That dub vest is really awesome. It's like purple psychedelic kind of colors and stuff. Do
you want it for transmog?
Sure, why not? I just want it anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's the most interesting out of all of them for sure, unless you want one that doesn't really cover anything. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. The Hide of Murderuff, which is from defeating Ungolox. The very best shirt. Can tell where that one's coming from. Ash Ketchum. The Crocktooth harness, of course. You got to beat Bruce for that one. How many times have we beaten Bruce now? Like,
I don't know, a couple.
7, because there was Bruce, and then there was Mecha Bruce, and now he's back again, and like other Bruce, and jeez. Then you have the Fell Feather jersey, which is from defeating a seagull. So,
yeah, and it's really important to note that they have to be from random brawl modes or challenge cards if that's what they apply to. So, for example, the Crocktooth harness from defeating Bruce, you can't go get a card to defeat Bruce specifically to get the shirt. He needs to come up as a random option. So, do bear that in mind.
So,
shall we move on to the fights?
Yes. Now,
dun, dun, dun.
We're just going to be talking about sort of tips and tricks in regards to the fights, because obviously there's a lot of them, and we don't really want to go through all of them for our listeners. So up first, you have Osso, which is one of the dumbest fights, but
it's awesome.
Probably
it's a good
one of the best.
One.
Yeah, it's a bear with a hunter in his mouth. So
makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, with the frontal cone attack called Shotgun Roar, and get out of the way when he does Grizzly Leap, because obviously when the bear roars, the hunter's gonna fire a shotgun and it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Yeah. The next one is Grandpa Grumplefoot. And he will throw bears at you and sing a song. Stay away from the red and the yellow ones, because they will explode and kill you instantly. The blue ones will heal you if you need them. Now, there is a specific song that he sings. The is that what it's called? The cantata of fluting. This heals him, and you won't be able to beat the enrage.
Oh, so you might be able to, but it's tough. Like, just interrupt it. I watched so many people doing this.
Yeah, the first time I fought him, I was like, "What is he? Oh, he just healed."
Yeah, Yeah, I watch people, but I watch people do it 5 times over and still didn't interrupt it, and wondered why they kept dying. And it's like you really need to interrupt that one. Ignore everything else. Just take it in the face with the other stuff. But that cantata of fluting is what heals him back up. So if you're, because I did feel bad for this person because they were a warlock, and I know warlocks are a bit low on interrupts and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure that one of the demons that you can have has an interrupt ability on them. So as long as you can get one of them off, then you should be okay.
Yeah.
Cantata of fluting. Interrupt.
Yes. Aulus, you just have to run away when he casts Horrific Pursuit, and then just keep away from him. Root him, stun him, run. Just simple. Then you have the Warhammer Council, which is a 3 dwarves shared health pool, representing one of the tribes of the dwarves. And you can snare them, you can root them, you can stun them, you can interrupt them. Don't stand in the molten slag on the ground, obviously. Don't stand in the bad. And just, if you have AoE, go for hell. Go for broke. You want to take rank 2?
Rank 2 starts with Dippy, which is the penguin one, and is really cute. So same as in Warlords, he's a penguin that is going to slide up to you and try and peck you. And if he gets that peck cast off, he's going to insta-kill you. Nothing that you can do about it. But every time you hit him with an ability, sorry, Sirius is sending quotes of me. Great. Every time you hit Dippy, he will get knocked back. So that's how you can keep him away. It's a little bit more difficult for melee, but remember that Peck does have a cast time, so you will, even if he does come up to you, you've got enough time to hit him with an ability. Just make sure you don't have to wait for that ability to go off, because it is quite quick. Also, don't back him into a wall, because if he doesn't have anywhere to go backwards, he won't bother getting knocked back and will just cast Peck on you straight away. So they will die. You will die. The next one is Bill the Janitor, which is a new one. Basically, this dude's going to summon a bunch of brooms. It's the weirdest fight. But he's going to summon a bunch of brooms, and they're going to hit you in the face, and some of them are going to hurt a little bit. But the one that you need to be mindful of is Boom Broom. It will kill you. Because you'll see it'll have a little ticking down timer on it. If that gets to 0, it will insta-kill you. So you need to stun it, knock it back, all of those things. I found that I have a bit of health, so I was able to just focus on the boss. And when they got too close to me, all the brooms got too close, I did a thunder shock to get them all out of the way, and I was okay. So you can do something similar, or you can stun them and root them and run away. The next one is Sonoriac, which is another one from Firelands, and it's like a big serpent dude who likes to play with fire. You can interrupt his abilities, pick whatever you want to interrupt. Pyroblast is a good one because it's got a tick on you, but you can't interrupt the flame wall.
Oh, I thought you could.
Nope, can't interrupt the flame wall. So you need to interrupt either Pyroblast or Fireball and run out of the firewall as it spawns around you. So it will be a 3-sided. Yeah, it's a U-shape. Yep. So just run out of the gap. If you get caught in there, you will instantly die. Mwahaha. Okay, and this one's for you, Sweet Pea. This is Master Paku. This is the last one for rank 2, and it
Pac-Man.
really is, it's Pac-Man, and it really is a rough fight, especially for melee. So the whole point of it is when the fight starts, the floor will become a miniature maze. I mean, not a complete maze, but there's walls and stuff of blue stuff on the ground, and you will instantly start running, which it makes me panic because, I like to be in control of what I'm doing, and I don't like being made to run on my own, but, there it is. You need to, and then there'll be 3 guys that are around the maze, and they'll be spinning around doing spinning crane kick kind of thing. And what you need to do is run over an orb, and that will make those guys stop spinning around, and they'll be doing a Zen meditation kind of animation. That's when you can hit them without getting hurt yourself. You can damage them. And then the orb will run out. You need to get away, and you can go pick up another orb, rinse and repeat until they're all dead. Now, the difficulty is that for melee, the orb might be on the other side of the maze to where the 3 guys are. So by the time you run up there to punch him in the face, orb's just about to run off and you don't get a lot of time. So it really will just be a case of RNG on that one.
Yep.
And reading through Anne's comments about, so Anne sent us some tweets about this, saying she was having difficulty with the running. You can also try putting on RP Walk. So yes. I have that bound somewhere, but yeah, that will slow down the speed that you're running in, which might help you feel a bit more in control.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did. As soon as I started running, I'm just like, hit the walk button, and I did slow down. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah. The other thing to bear in mind is that even though you're running, if you're a caster, you will be able to cast on the move. So you will have your full range of abilities available. So it will just take some practice, but I do recommend just slowing down, getting used to the maze. Like if you're a bit worried about that first, if that's where your weak point is that you're not okay with the maze yet, just have a couple of attempts where you're just running around and getting used to that. And then when you're used to the maze and you know where to go and how to maneuver around it, then you can actually start focusing on getting everything, getting all the bosses down. So yeah, that one for me took a couple of goes because I just didn't like it. But, you know, you get there in the end. It's not too terrible.
Yeah. Now, for rank 3, the first one you fight is Doom Flipper. And, yeah, he's just a huge manatee. Yep. And he's here to seal the deal.
Get out!
This is exactly what the person says in the Brawlers Guild. No. Oh, the huge manatee, it's here to seal the deal, Doom Flipper.
Yeah.
No. That is the announcer's exact quote. It's just a straight up tank and speak. Just a very big creature that you got to beat. Next, you have Splat, who was formerly a challenge card brawl in Warlords. It's an ooze with a huge amount of health, and he will split, creating new copies of himself, increasing damage compared to his predecessor, Blat. And the original Splat leaves a trail of goo behind you, which you have to avoid because it does a ton of nature damage. The fight is pretty easy for casters able to move while casting, because they move pretty slow, so you can just sort of kite them around as you go. So yeah, it's kind of straightforward, but you have to be able to maneuver around correctly to get it.
Yeah, with this one, I'd read a tip on the comments where they said it can be helpful to put a raid marker on Splat as soon as it spawns, because that's the only one that you need to kill. You don't need to kill any of the ads or anything. You only need to kill Splat. And once she starts splitting up, it can be a bit confusing about who you have to punch in the face. So the raid marker can be really helpful.
Yeah, and obviously if you're a pet class, just throw your pet at it and let them go to town. The next one is Shadowmaster Amin. And you have to kite him slowly around, avoid standing between the torches. It's a good idea to drop the torches not too far apart, as it quickly cuts off large areas of the arena. Now, he casts Shadow Blast and Shadow Torch. And it spawns a Shadow Torch at the location, which leaves behind a pulsing sort of shadow area that does damage. Oh geez.
When Shadow Blast goes off, it basically puts a line between all of the torches that are on the ground. So if you're between any of the torches, you're going to get hit by the blast and you'll get insta-killed. So you can either draw a line, like you can just kite in a line around the room. I actually ended up doing a zigzag because that worked best for me. It's just going to be whatever you feel comfortable with. But I mean, I did zigzag down the room and I didn't even get to the end of the room because he died. So it's it just depends on how fast you're going to kill him. But just don't stand between the torches.
Yep. And obviously up next have a hunter of incomprehensible, spectacular, amazing splendor, one and only Johnny Awesome.
I love Johnny Awesome.
Now, he has been everywhere, and he's now in the Brawlers Guild, ready to fight you with his companion Dazzle. Obviously, he's going to shoot you normally. He has a volley and a channeled power shot. you can interrupt. So obviously you'll have to avoid the rain of arrows indicated by the circles. Now, Dazzle does have a charge stun too far away, and you can use Power Shot to have him kill Dazzle so that when he casts Revive, he will take increased damage while doing so. So it's kind of like the first Os in Eye of Ashara, where you get him to throw the spear at the ads.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to take rank 4?
Oh, rank 4. Rank 4. This is where, like, for me, the Pac-Man one was a slight roadblock. I got there after, I think, 2 or 3 attempts. Rank 4, Bernstachio, the first one. I wanted to
This is the first
fight.
Yep. This is the first fight I saw coming into the Brawlers Guild for the first time.
I wanted to punch myself in the face.
Or him.
So, yeah. So the difficulty with this one is that if you have a really rubbish graphics card, or if your PC's not super great, as soon as the fight starts, you're going to lag out. You're going to get massive lag, and you're going to have a really tough time, because what happens is the ground gets covered in fire, and there are very small spaces that you can run into that are safe, because if you get in the fire, you instantly die. Yay. What you need to do for the purpose of the fight is to run around and collect water bubbles, which spawn in random places around the room. And when you have that bubble around you, you're able to run on the fire and you're able to hit the boss. You can't actually do any damage to the boss without this water bubble. It's temporary. It's got a limited amount of time that it will be on you for. And if you've got DBM, we'll start counting down to let you know when your bubble's going to drop off. And then you have to run into the patches and find yourself another bubble. But here's the thing, right? So it's straightforward. It's like run to get a bubble, hit the guy, and don't stand in fire. The difficult part is, like I said, there's so much fire that it is going to kill your graphics if you're having a rough time of things, which I currently am. The key point here is that you'll notice that there are areas where there is rain falling from above, and where the rain lands is where the next patch of clear space will be. And so you need to follow the rain around the room to get to the water bubbles. That's as much advice as I can give you. Turn your graphics down if you need to, if you're having a bit of difficulty with it. I was watching a poor Demon Hunter last night. He was really struggling because it was killing his graphics. It was lagging out really bad. The biggest tip, though, is that when you spawn in the arena, don't move, because the space where you spawn will be safe at the very beginning of the fight. It will get covered in fire very quickly, but at least you know straight away that will be a safe spot for the first 2 seconds. And yeah, this one, follow the rain, listen to the countdown for when your bubble's going to go off. And when you start noticing that your bubble's going to go off, he doesn't have a huge amount of health. You're unlikely to get a DPS check on this one. It's actually more about doing the mechanics of the fight properly. So as you're getting the countdown for the bubble to wear off, go, okay, I've only got a couple of seconds. I need to find where the rain is and where the clear patch is, because the bubble will just instantly drop off and you'll insta-die if you're anywhere near the fire.
Yeah.
So good luck with that one. Next up, we have Meatball. Meatball was in Warlords of Draenor as well, and he was a rank 4 fight in that one too. It's not a difficult fight. He has 103.6 million health, which is an absolute bucket load. You will not be able to get him down within the time frame without actually doing the mechanics in this. So all you need to do, as the fight's going on, he will spawn purple bubbles around you. As you run through them, you will get a damage buff. So it says each stack will increase the damage that you inflicted by 20% for 20 seconds. So just keep running through the bubbles. Don't let the stacks wear off. You need to get as many as you possibly can. It can stack up to 50 times. So you've got the choice of getting a few and hitting him as you go, or just running around and around and around until you've got heaps, and then you can just get him down really quickly. Completely up to you. But yeah, straightforward fight, to be honest. GG Engineering was a rank 7 fight in Warlords of Draenor, and it took me a long time then, but this time I knew what I was doing, and it was okay. There's two engineers. One is a goblin, one is a gnome. One of them shoots rockets in the air. Do you think that's the goblin? And the other guy casts a gnomish death ray, which is obviously the gnome. The idea is that you follow around Bo, who is the gnome, and hit him and get Max, who is the goblin, to fire the rockets off and stand. So you stand where those rockets are going to land, get Bo to stand in there so that he takes damage from those rockets, because you're going to need to help kill him with his friend's ability. Does that make sense?
Yes. Make them hurt each other.
Yeah, make them hurt each other. They will run into little bubbles, and they'll get a shielded buff where they're not taking any damage. When that happens, you need to run into that bubble as well, so that one of the rockets will land in there. Just make sure that you get out before it lands, because the shield will not protect you. It will hurt you, and you will be sad, but it will break the shield, and that's what you want to have happen. And the last one for rank 4 is Stitches. I actually really liked this fight. So basically it's Stitches with his really lovely tummy on the outside, and he's got a pile of green goop all around him. When you're standing in it, you will get a stacking debuff called Aura of Rot, which does damage to you over time. If it gets to 10 stacks, it will instantly kill you. You can drop your stacks by running out of the goop, but whenever you run out of the goop, Stitches pulls you back in. And the more often that you run out, the faster that he's going to get you back in, which makes it more and more difficult to drop the stacks. This one might just take a little bit of practice. For me, I was really lucky as a shaman. I had Gust of Wind. It's my fart talent. I love it. I was able to leap out.
Disengage.
Yeah, well, yep, disengage for you. You've got your blink for your mages. Rely on those in the later times when you're trying to blink out, like trying to get out if it's got a bit of a cooldown on it. But yeah, it's a relatively straightforward fight. Just keep an eye on those stacks.
Yep. Now, did you come across Stitches when you were playing Heroes at all?
No, I didn't.
He can be pretty scary in Heroes of the Storm with his hook.
Well, we were just playing against AI, so we got lots of Lucios, which was cool. Hated him. I wanted to punch him in the face. Yeah, it was cool.
Well, speaking of sound waves, the first roll of rank 5 is a gentleman by the name of Thwack Yu. Now, the brawl is against Wes and Sunny. It takes place on a stage with a fiery curtain and large jukeboxes at one end. Now, they shoot sound waves across the arena. Each jukebox is offset, so you can dodge in and out to avoid getting damage, unless you get rooted by the ability Sit Down. The jukeboxes will shoot off Drop the Bass, which just does a ton of damage, which you'll need to jump over. So this is kind of like DDR. Again, Dance Dance Revolution. You move back and forth, jump over the certain things, and just do damage to them. So
this is one that's really good to watch the video for, because it helps you visualize what's going to happen. But basically, there will be a gap in the jukeboxes at the end will actually flash really quickly before they put out their sound burst, and so you can see where the gap is going to be, so you know where to run to. But it's a lot easier if you kind of see the fight before you actually do it, to get an idea of, oh yeah, that's what that looks like, and that's what I need to look out for.
Now, Razor Grin is the next fight, and he's a little bit out of his element at this point because he's a giant shark that just spawns on land. He just kind of flops around slowly, and if he gets close enough, he'll bite you once and kill you straight away. So all you have to do is keep him at a range and just get him down. The next one is the Leper Gnome Quintet, which is Fleazy, Greasy, Sleazy, Wheezy, and Queasy. They all apply a stackable debuff called Leprous Spew, which slowly eats away at your health. You need to kite them around to reduce the amount of stacks you get, or, if you're able to actually drop them completely. Class-specific cooldowns will drop the stacks, like Ice Block and Divine Shield. High cleave damage is pretty much what you want for this fight, to get rid of all of them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, sorry.
No, continue. I was
just gonna say, for this one, because I have a bit of health, I just stood and took a fair few stacks in the face and chain lightninged down, and then stunned them in place and ran away, which was long enough for me to drop my stacks off. So if you can take a few and then stop them and run away, you'll be pretty good. They don't have if you can cleave them down, you'll be right as rain, easy as.
Yeah. And the final one for rank 5 is Black Mage. He spawns a row of cannons that have a long fuse running from the opposite side. When the lit fuse reaches the cannon, it shoots, instantly killing you. Keep sidestepping to dodge the cannons, and Black Mage will also do a charge forward to attack you. So you need to dodge that, and then reposition him to not get hit by the cannons firing. So it's both dodge the cannons and fight the boss. So
that's another one that's really good just to watch, just to see what it actually looks like. What I found was easiest to stand at the opposite end of the room where the cannons were, and when you saw a new line spawning, just run to where that new line was, because you knew that you know that you'll have a bit of time before that fuse runs out. And generally you can sidestep between maybe 3 or 4 of them, so you don't have to move too much. Do you want to do rank 6?
Yes, please.
Next one is Tops, and he's a giant Triceratops. I was going to say Tyrannosaurus. I'm like, no, he's a Triceratops. Well, kind of. He's a big dino. And basically, he's just going to run around the room and crash into walls and stuff. You can't do any damage to him without him getting a specific ability. So he's going to run around, crash into a wall, and one of two things will happen. Either he will get Dino Days on him, which is when you can hit him. So you'll see that there's a countdown to see if they're to let you know how much time you've got to burn him down. So he'll either do that, or he's going to do collision, which he'll stand there and kind of shake his head and then go, I'm going to run into another wall. And then he runs off into another wall. The way that it ended up being for me was on the first Dino Dash he did, I got a Dino Days straight away. And then he jumped out of that, ran off, hit a wall, did collision, and then ran off and got another wall, and then got Dino Days. And then when that was done, 2 more wall hits, and then the third one was the Dino Days. So I think he'll... and you got to get out of the way. Like, if you get hit by it, you're going to die. So that is Tops. Milliwatt is another one that I'm sure that we've done before.
Yes.
But she's an engineer with a giant gun. Interrupt what you can. When she does an ability called Mega Fantastic Discombobulator, I was going to get that right, designed to turn you into a chicken. What you want to do is stand into the electric pools in the ground as that's about to happen, and the electric field will stop you from being a chicken. If you are not in one of those, you'll be a chicken for a while, and that really sucks.
Yep.
Next up is Carl, and Carl's pretty straightforward, especially if you've got high DPS burst. He's going to spit out some lava pools on the ground, and anywhere that a lava pool will appear, 4 waves are going to come out of it. You need to dodge the waves. But when the waves hit other pools, that's going to spawn other waves as well. So the longer that you're in the fight for, the more walls of fire there will be to dodge. It's like Bomberman, which is what Wowhead's saying, and it is. He'll also move around the room a little bit, so just be mindful of that he'll burrow down and then come back up again. And the last one is Overwatch, which is a Overwatch reference, obviously. In this one, I only had 3 guys, even though there's apparently a whole bunch who have been data mined, but there's a Winston ripoff and a McCree ripoff and a Stuff Shrew, who is a Junkrat, I'm guessing.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It does say that you'll always fight a group of 3.
Yeah. So for this one, you have to interrupt the shield, like the barrier projector. You actually need to do a stun or something like that to make the protector go away, and then you'll be able to hit people. So, and you can see, like, it's saying, the guides say you've got to defeat Dupree before high noon goes off, but high noon has like a huge cast time, so it works to be about the same time as the fight limits there are anyway. So
has a minute and a half cast time.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was one that I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens, and it kind of just worked out. The key thing was, though, that you need a stun of some sort to get that barrier down.
Yeah. So, rank 7 is the final rank, and up first you have Nibbler, who is, as I was saying earlier, the giant snake. Now, basically, you're playing Snake in this. As he moves, he leaves a poison trail behind you, and if he crosses his own trail, he gains a stack of a buff, increases his damage, and decreases the damage he takes. So you do not want him to take any stacks. Now, as a hunter, make sure your pet doesn't have taunt, because the first time I did this, I didn't realize my pet had taunt active. And the first thing he did was taunt him and have him stand still, and he grew to the size of the building and just one-shot my pet and then one-shot me. So you have to keep him moving.
Yep.
Yeah. As melee, this will probably be a little bit annoying.
No, it's easy as melee, because they can cast things as they move. They basically move backwards. If you're running backwards, it's the perfect speed to make him move and not get hit by his own stuff. And so you can kite him around the room backwards. One thing that I did notice that's different, so when I did this last time, I had Spirit Walker's Grace available, and I could cast on the move and burn him down before that ran off. I don't have that anymore. As an Ellie Shaman, there's so little that I can do on the move. It's insane, which is where I hit quite a few roadblocks in this rank. And this one in particular took me a fair while. What used to happen was, if you ran away, like in the Warlords one, if you ran away from Nibbler really fast, he would follow you really, really quickly. Whereas now he seems to just be at one constant speed. So he's either going to be that speed, or he's going to stop if there's, anything that makes him stop, i.e. you standing still. So it meant that I was able to start on the opposite side to where he spawns and burn him down until he got really close to me, and then I would turn around and leap into the opposite corner and turn around and burn an him down for another whole line, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
and that got him down.
Spiral inward.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the easiest way to do it. Now the next one is Serpent of Old, which essentially he spawns a totem in each corner, and as he's standing in the area of that totem, that buff that totem gives gets slowly bigger. So what you want to do is just rotate him between each of them, not allowing the buff to get so big, but also giving yourself enough time that when you get back around to the first one again, that buff has already fallen off. So it's just moving around the room, kind of the same as Nibbler. It's just slightly different tactics. Now,
sorry.
I'll let you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say what Wirehead doesn't really tell you much about is the green circles that will spawn underneath you on the ground. They actually explode and they will pretty much one-shot you. So don't stand in them. So they'll let them spawn underneath your feet and then move slightly around and let the next one spawn under your feet. And by the time the second one has spawned and you're moving out of that, the first one will explode. So you've got enough room to circle a totem if you want to. You don't have to go to all 4 totems. I stayed on the haste one until he got to like 10 stacks, went to a different one until those stacks went off, and then went back to haste. And yeah, got him down pretty quickly. But those circles I didn't realize would kill you. So just don't be in those.
Yes. And now the second last boss of this is a Forsaken riding on the back of a Devil Saw, riding on the back of Epicus Maximus, the flying shark, equipped with 2 rockets and a laser beam.
It's awesome. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But it's awesome. I do remember fighting this guy last year, and so basically you have Pure Rock and Roll, which is sort of an AoE resonance field. You have a Destructo Laser, which is just a beam that comes after you. And then Blue Crush, which is a sort of cone attack that you can just kind of move out of the way of. Now, obviously, all three in conjunction are very difficult. So this one does look to be the most difficult because it looks to be the DPS check that you will have to kind of keep an eye on.
Next
obviously,
one's the hardest.
2-minute timer, 55 million health. You know, if you don't have the DPS to get through it, you may need to come back with some better gear. And then the last one.
Sorry,
I was
just going to say with that one is there's 10 to 15 seconds of role playing at the start of that, so you don't actually get a solid 2 minutes, which is a giant pain in the bum. And the other thing is you can interrupt the Blue Crush ability so that it doesn't actually go off, which will help you if you can't cast and move.
Yes.
But it's a really tight DPS check, that one. It's really rough.
And now the final challenger, the biggest in-joke Blizzard has ever made, is Ray D. Tier, whose tombstone is sitting in our garrison, because if we didn't get a garrison, we would have gotten a whole nother raid tier, according to the community. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this wicked soul that shapeshifts to represent the entirety of Tier 18. Now, he takes the signature moves from all the different bosses. So he has Grasping Hands from Cormrock. He has a Shockwave from the Siege Master. He has Acidic Wounds from Gertog. From Kilrog, he has Death Throes. Gorefiend has Crushing Darkness. From Fel Lord Zakuun, he has the Fel Crystal. From Tyrant Valhari, Gavel of the Tyrant. From Zul'Harak, he has the Black Hole. From Manaroth, he has the Fel Implosion. And from Archimonde, he has the Shadow Fel Blast. That's a lot of stuff. Now, Shockwave you have to avoid because it will one-shot you. Use a defensive for Grasping Hand if you can. Acidic Wounds applies a bleed and an armor debuff. Sidestep Death Throes and Crushing Darkness. Drop the Fel Crystal in the corner so that you have a good amount of space to dodge the waves. Use a defensive or heal through it, or even get some kind of immunity for Gavel of the Tyrant. Move away from the Black Hole and interrupt Fel Implosion. If you raided Tier 18, you are basically raiding Tier 18 all over again in the span of 2 minutes. How many attempts did this take you?
A few. My biggest issue, so this one, it took me quite a few. It is a big DPS check, so he's got just under 60 million health, plus you have to get out of the Grasping Hand, which has 4 million health. So you're getting through 64 million in 2 minutes, and it's hard as an Ellie Shaman who has nothing that they can cast on the run. So it took, in the end, I did a lot of switching around of gear and went for throughput ones. I changed my talents a million times. I even went and tried enhancement for a while so that I could do things on the run. You start getting into a bit of a rhythm. So when Shockwave's about to come out, just run through the boss instead of trying to sidestep the Shockwave, because you'll probably still get hit by it. So run through the boss, deal with the damage from Acidic Wound. For me, the most standing still point in time was after I had jumped through the boss for Shockwave. I would jump through, stop, turn around, and that's when I popped all my cooldowns, because that's when I could stand still the longest. And I would keep hitting him until Ascendance wore off, and then I would worry about Grasping Hands. But you do need to get Grasping Hand down before Death Throes comes out, because that one-shots you. All of the abilities one-shot you.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Can Death Throes, Crushing Darkness, and Shockwave come out like within?
No, they're sequential. They all go in.
It's sequential.
They all go in this exact order, and they go one after the other.
There's no chance of the timer being like, "Oh, Grasping Hands, now here comes Shockwave."
No.
Oh, you couldn't get out in half a second. Too bad.
No.
Sort of thing.
No, it will always be in this order. Shockwave will always come first. Acidic Wound will always come second. Grasping Hand is always third.
Yes.
So when death throws come out, you just kind of run from that. Crushing darkness, you'll run away from that. Yes, aim for a corner, but don't get stuck behind it. I got stuck in for the fell crystal that comes up. I got stuck behind a corner, behind the crystal, and couldn't get out of the corner.
Oh, because it shoots out the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one from.
Yeah, and it comes
Arkham
out from where you're standing. So try and go to an edge or something, and then when that's come out, run to the opposite end of the room. The waves coming out of that fell crystal will last for the rest of the fight. So that one's a giant pain. The gavel hurts, yes. Black hole will keep happening for the rest of the fight. The fell implosion, you can interrupt that or stun it or whatever. And then it's got Archimonde's Shadowfell Burst, which will shoot you up into the air, and that's essentially your enrage timer. For me, like I said, it was a DPS check because I couldn't do anything while I was running. When I did get this down, I had an instant ability that I could hit while I was in the air from Shadowfell Burst that hit and killed him as I landed and died, and everything went off. So I got that by like the skin of my teeth. Like, it was absolutely intense. It was awesome. Like, I had the whole nerd screams going on because I was trying it I think I was at it for about an hour last night, and then I was doing it this morning as well. And yeah, it's really intense, but this one, hands down, as hard as it was absolutely my favorite. It was really, really cool. Really cool.
I'm curious if they could bump this up to an actual raid difficulty.
It would be fun, but I kind of like, this is why I like Brawlers Guild, because it's a solo challenge. It's something that I can just do on my own, and I could work on it, and I was getting better each time I was doing it, and I knew what I was doing wrong, and it was about me trying to manage my own cooldowns and stuff. It was, you definitely need to be able to pre-pot. You definitely need something to help, like give yourself a heroism as well if you don't have that naturally. But it's a really good one.
An idea just popped into my mind because he has 10 abilities. I can imagine a version where you fight him with 10 people, and it's like the person who's first on the list gets always targeted with Shockwave.
Oh god!
And then it kind of goes down the list. Everybody gets targeted by a specific ability, kind of thing. And so you have to have everyone moving sort of around in circles.
Yeah, look, I don't know how many groups would want to do this anymore, though. Like, it did bring back some shudders from going through Hellfire, given how long we had it and stuff. But
well, I did see this guy. I did see this fight once, and I was just like, "Oh, that's cool. He's like summoning raid bosses. That's kind of cool." And I didn't even notice his name, but I just saw I think it was a paladin just running around in circles as fast as they could. Like, dodging everything.
I'm just like, on the other end, just going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
it's good fun.
So, yeah, and now obviously, one last thing: once you've hit rank 8, don't forget to go buy the mount.
Yeah. And
then send us a tweet and let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you also, like, if you haven't done Brawlers Guild before now, you will also get the title, which is Brawler, which is also really nice.
Yeah. So that's everything, and we'll move on to some tweets and stuff that we got from our listeners. Now, we got a tweet from Vic, who is at Vic Baldry, asking us a question. What is the best class profession combo to maximize mounts? His thinking was a Death Knight with either engineering or tailoring, which gets you 8 extra mounts. Now, I guess that is probably the best combination, because there's Death Knight and Warlock and Paladin who get extra mounts, correct? Or is there one that I'm missing?
No.
Oh, and Demon Hunter get 1, but that kind of knocks them out because all the others get 2. And then which profession has the most mounts is what we have to figure out, and then you just put those together, really. I suppose when it comes down to race as well, you'd want to pick the race with the most mounts so that you get them off the bat without having to grind out the reputation with the other cities as well. So you'd probably want to go for a Night Elf or a human. Yes.
Yep, and has made the spot-on point. Paladins get an extra one from the Argent tournament, so you probably want to go with the Pally.
Yeah. Unless you decide to have an army of alts, and then it doesn't really matter. Or...
Well, it does, because the tailors are tailor-specific, though, aren't they?
Yes, but once you unlock them, they count across the board. You just can't ride them as a non-tailor. They still count towards the maximum, I believe. I don't think I think it's just the class mounts that count specifically as like +2 to paladin, whereas a hunter would only have however much. And I believe that's how it is. Because they're technically in your mount list, but I could be wrong. I guess I'll double check between now and next week. Now, did you want to get really excited for this next one?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yes. So, Alessandra has told us that she just got herself the Ashes of Alar, as well as telling the Dark Moon Herald, the Game Case, the Hunting Party podcast, Girls Gone WoW, Marconin, and the Epic Fail podcast. And I hope that awesome. Every single one of them gives her a congratulations, because the Ashes of Alar is one of the
ribbon bed
most beautiful mounts. Yes.
Yeah, it's lovely. Congratulations, Alessandra. That's really cool.
Yeah. So our next tweet is from Anne the Gamer, who says, I made it through the first 7 fights. The next one was weird and kept killing me, so now I'm waiting for your episode. Yes. That is Puckman, because that just if you haven't read up on them and you're not expecting that, you're not going to know what to do when it comes to it, because a lot of them have a little bit of a wind up.
Yeah, but even if you do read up, like I read up on, well, to be fair, I read each one before I queued for it, but reading up on that one I feel like is a fight that you definitely need to just do and practice rather than reading.
Yeah, I reckon for most of the fights, give yourself at least one attempt to be like, how long can I stay alive? Even though I have no idea what's going on in this fight, or if you just listen to us and you have a rough idea, how long can I stay alive in this fight? Like, what is the longest possible that I can stay alive while doing a minimal amount of damage? Focus on staying alive, do a small amount of damage to the boss. And if you do manage to actually kill them, that's excellent. But then on your next try, you'll know exactly what you had to steer clear of and what to dodge, and then you'll be able to throw on top of that your damage. So that would be probably a good like strategy for that. She also says her favorite was Dippy. It's funny and has an interesting mechanic.
I agree. It's really cute.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for like a raid boss where it's like the ads run at you and you can just hit them to knock them back a little bit, kind of thing, or something like that. Like just use his sort of mechanic as like an ad in a raid boss encounter, because that would be funny. And she did reply again saying, "Yeah, I couldn't manage the auto run correctly," which is fair enough. Fair enough.
RP walking.
One. Yes. It's default to I think / on the numpad. So yeah. Did you want to take the next ones?
The next tweet we have is from Spanky, who says, haven't touched it yet. I wait till last patch so I can blast through with as little frustration as possible. And that is a completely legitimate strat. If you don't want the frustrations, absolutely. Wait till you've got lots of gear and then you can just, get your way through it really quickly. So, just wait for a while. And from Professor Moriarty, his mount count is at 295, with the hero's mount being his newest one, 355 on the toy count, and a few more achievement points. Have a great show.
Yes.
And the last one is from Wingy at Wing the Quick, who says, I got my invite tonight. Exciting. Hope you have fun with that, Wingy. I love Brawlers Guild. The only thing that I want them to do is to have something that you can buy. I said this on Twitter last night. I want them to have something that you can buy with Brawlers Gold that will make it so that all of your cooldowns will go off cooldown when you're out of combat. Because the number of times, I was the only one there, and because I was doing the last boss and I needed everything, so I was popping hero and all of my pots every cooldown, and if I failed, I then had to sit around and wait 10 minutes for my heroism debuff to drop off before I could try again. And it was just really frustrating. It just made it take a lot longer. I mean, if there's lots of people around, great. By the time it gets to your point in the queue, then maybe it's all dropped off. But when you're on your own, it was boring.
Even if they had like some kind of like hidden buff that you get in the Brawlers Guild, like, you know, as a placeholder, you call it just infinitely heroic, and it's like as soon as you step into the Brawlers Guild, heroic, like heroism, bloodlust, all that stuff, like all those debuffs disappear. So it's like when you're in the actual arena, it does affect you, but as soon as you either die or win and pop out, it just goes off you straight away. Yeah, because it does cool. That would be a little annoying to get that. Now, we did get an email from Anne as well.
Yay!
Yes, and it says, "Hello, Reins. We're going to need more saddles." With a very big square at the end of that.
Congratulations!
Yes. I did see her tweet about her boss asking her.
Oh my god! What
was it? I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like
something like, "Why do you look so happy?"
Yeah, and she's like internally just like, "I got 151 mounts," and then she says out loud, "The weather's nice today," or something like that. It was pretty good. She also says, "Last week, the easiest way to get enough mounts was grinding out Kurenai reputation, so I did that. I got 8 new mounts. Oh my Kurenai. We're going to need more saddles and a beautiful Jade Pandaren kite. I was a bit tired after the last couple of weeks, so I spent the rest of the week flying my Frey Feather. Is that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's an autocorrect, but I haven't figured it out.
Frey Feather hatchling, possibly one of the little hatchling guys from
the Falcosaurs.
Yeah, maybe. Well, she's in the chat room, so she may
be
able to give us
which one you meant.
Correct. Taking them around the world and doing the field photographer. Thanks for the podcast. That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm so
another
happy that you
milestone.
Got your mount. Yeah, that's really cool. And the kite is a lovely mount to have. It's very peaceful. All the
kites. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're a rogue, totally stealthy.
Oh, the Frey Feather Hatchling is the one from the micro holiday. I didn't realize what it was called. I just kept calling it my little baby hippogriff. He's on my shoulder.
Of course.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
makes so much
sense.
sense.
You took him on a world adventure. That's so cute. Oh, that's really cute.
Well, if you took some pictures and some selfies, send a bunch. Even if you just like send all of them to us, we'll pick out the really cool ones and we'll put them on our gallery. So just send them through. Obviously, if you have anything like that you want to send to us, you can send it through to our Gmail, reignsofAzeroth@gmail.com. Now, next week, we're going to get a little crazy because we're going to cover
crazier.
We're going to cover the insane title. Now, if I don't go insane from getting the Brawlers Guild to max, then insane title will definitely do that. Now, obviously, if you want to come along next week, we record live Tuesday nights, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, at twitch.tv/Reins of Azeroth. The show can be found at reinsofAzeroth.com. Our voices can be heard through Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher. Our live show does get sent to YouTube afterwards. Just search for Reins of Azeroth. If you'd like to leave us a review on iTunes, that would be great. A thumbs up on Stitcher would also help. And our Patreon does exist if you feel like donating that way. Other than that, obviously, as I said, we have our email address, reignsofAzeroth@gmail.com. A lot of the updates we get from our listeners are through Twitter. So tweet at the show at Reins of Azeroth. I can be found personally at SpazWesson. Cinder is at Cinder_tweets. And if you want access to our Discord server, just send us a message on Twitter and we will send you a link to get you in. And that's about it for this week.
Have a great week, guys. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for coming along.
See you next week.
Bye.
And stop. And Sirius is free.
You read in your teapot? Oh my god.
I said
gross.
free.
I'm pretty sure I heard you say we.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
But she's being mean.
I'm never mean.
Always mean.
I know, I'm a cow.
Not a cow.
Play a panda, not a tauren.
I'm a grumpy bear? I don't know. I can't think of
A
it.
drop bear.
I'm a drop bear.
Oh gosh. I'm a drop bear.
Drop bear.
Actually, can Pandarans be warriors?
Yeah.
Well, then that's a drop bear.
Yeah,
Considering
that's
how they
true.
come out of their class hall, that's a drop bear.
Yeah, that's so true. That's awesome.
I want to make a Pandaran warrior called Drop Bear.
You absolutely should.
I don't have a
Probably
warrior,
already
so
taken.
that may make me make a warrior. Ugh.
Warriors are good fun.
Yeah. I need to get all my alts to 110 before I think about making any new ones. So, yeah.
Also, while
Yes.
I was in my teapot, I was doing some research, and I officially want one of those big, fluffy, white cloud dogs.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
You want a floof?
I do want a floof. They make boof sounds and they're adorable. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Samoyed.
Oh, that's what Radiant Cliff has, doesn't she?
Yes.
Samoyed,
Yeah, and I want
I think
one.
it is.
I was looking at them and I'm like, oh, they're so foofy. And they're hypoallergenic. Even though I don't have allergies, I just want one so bad.
Well, I
Oh,
finally convinced
God.
you. I finally convinced you in regards to the pet that I would like.
Maybe.
So I'm happy.
I'm on the fence about that one.
No, you're not.
We just get a
You f-
ferret instead. It's the same size.
No, it's not. You fell in love with Dallas.
That's different.
And
It's someone else's dog.
the dog we get will have. I want to have the same personality.
And if it doesn't,
I don't know.
I guess I'm gonna take the hobby of kicking puppies.
No, you would
I'd
never do
kick
that.
a dog. No, I'm not an asshole.
FYI, the dog that I want is a dachshund.
We had them.
I accidentally kicked a dog once.
Who hasn't?
Our dog
Me?
likes to pretend to be a cat and weave between your legs.
Oh.
So I accidentally kneed him in the face.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're too big for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dachshunds
really
are
too
lovely,
big.
but they have a lot of back problems. We had to have two put down.
Yeah, I've heard that, and a lot of people say you either get one that's really chill or one that's like a real pain.
Well, Millie was a rescue dog. She'd been left on a farm to fend for herself, and so she had to, kill whatever she could find. And we have a feeling that she might have been abused by a guy. And the only reason I say that is that when we took her in, eventually she learned that, we loved her and she loved us. Anytime strange men came near the place, she would absolutely go off her rocker. Females were fine, kids were fine, but men, she just absolutely lost it, which was just heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking.
Of course. Yeah.
And so we had do you know, little dachshund puppies are the cutest things in the world, because you know how they have the floppy ears? They don't start out floppy. They start out as these little rubber blobs where their ears should be, and then they kind of stretch out over time. They're just freaking adorable. My brother and I used to line them all up on one end of the rug while they was still blind and all of this. And we'd have them on one end of the rug, and then we'd go to the other end and we'd tap on the end of the rug so that they could feel the vibrations, and they'd all come running over towards us, so we'd race them. It was really cute and fun. They're adorable.
That's so cute.
Yeah, they are. They're adorable.
I just like German Shepherds, okay? They're the best. I've had a German Shepherd almost my entire life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not the same German Shepherd, sadly, but yeah. Dad really favors German Shepherds. And it makes sense. I mean, they're really good protectors. Oh. Although I
What am I
like to
doing?
bug mine quite a lot.
There.
He like he'll sit outside on the decking and he'll just kind of lay down, and I like to bug him, so I go and like sit behind him on the couch, and he does this thing where he kind of lays down on his back and like swats at my knees to get my attention to pat him. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you pats. So I give him like belly screeches, and then I'll stop, and he'll start like not biting, but he'll start like kind of closing his mouth around my ankle.
More, please.
Yeah, and he does that to your hand when he's just like, look, you need to stop. I'm done.
No,
I don't need any more.
He only does it to me when he wants more pets.
Ah.
Yeah, he's a good dog.
Yeah.
Kind of a doofus, but he's a good dog.
I'm surprised we haven't heard him yet, considering.
Oh, no, he'd be sleeping on the back deck again. Yeah, he's taken a liking to the back deck. It's probably warmer than sleeping on the concrete because he's an idiot and he has a bed, but he doesn't want to use it.
Yeah.
Same as the other dog. He has a full mattress, like a full. I think it's either a double or a queen size mattress, and it's like full covered, everything nice, and it's out in the shed, and it's like all comfy and stuff. No, he sleeps next to it with his back up against it. Like,
Yeah.
mattress. You dog.
It's because you're not on the mattress, you know.
I wouldn't.
He just wants your attention.
Although he'd be more interested in a hose because he likes the water coming out of the hose more than he likes the person holding the hose. God damn it! I
Also,
love that dog.
Found a really cute picture. If you look on the stream.
It's 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit, but
Mine won't load.
It's a puppy and another puppy, kind of. Oh, it's a cat.
Oh, yeah. I still don't think I'd be. No.
Yeah, no, mine isn't loading.
No, it's a dash hound with a lion, and they're just like cuddling.
Oh no.
Yeah, we should end things here. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone in Twitch, for coming along and having a chat with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Good night. I love you.
Bye.